Chapter 19. Journey to the Mysterious Island. With her bag filled, the eggs safe, Rex offered to carry the supplies, Ruby using crutches to walk. The herd waved Ruby off, cheering and calling her and Chomper a set of heroes. In truth, Ruby didn't feel like a hero as she hobbled off, hating to be in such a helpless state. Once she left the herd, it set in the danger she would be in. The combination of being hurt and prey was never good, especially since she couldn't use her weapons. This is the first I've really been with food, prey.
You don't have to force yourself to come.
Yeah, well, if the Alpha comes back and sees you alone and hurt, he might be angry that I didn't keep an eye on you, though he might get mad if he sees me with you.
Champer's not usually the type to get jealous or angry.
That begs the question, how did a fast runner and a Sharptooth even end up together?
It's a long story.
I would like to hear it. After all, we have a long trip ahead of us.
For once, I'm lost for words.
Ruby smiled and could recall every detail, every moment after she met Chomper. What was the purpose for a fast runner and a Sharptooth to be friends? For her, Chomper brought forth the youthfulness of childhood, gave her the ability to live in the Great Valley, where she could grow up and learn the ways of peace and harmony. And despite being away from her family, he gave her another family, the gang, who, while not always perfect, were there for her just as Chomper had been. Chomper had asked a while back that even in another period, would they still be friends? There was no doubt. Ruby believed had she met Chomper earlier in their lives, their bond would still be strong. That no distance, time, or even space could come between their two hearts. Trudy told Ruby when she was younger that choosing a mate was more than just to find a suitable male to bear young with. No, it was greater, was so much deeper than nature. It was something indescribable, a force that brought two beings together, two hearts, two worlds to become one. Stories and belief went hand in hand in Ruby's family, and her favorite was the one about love. Love was a powerful emotion that some, like Hip, mistakenly mixed up with lust. Unlike lust, or even pining, love was so deep, true, that Ruby believed it was a force beyond anything they could ever understand. It came in many forms, too, from friendship, family, and most beautiful of all, undying love for another. It was then she wondered where Chomper was. Was he okay? Was he scared? Confused? Why didn't he say something to her, especially after he vowed to be honest with her, to never leave her side without telling her where he was going or what he was up to? And she would do the same with him. What was worse was that she didn't have a reasonable or rational explanation for any of his behavior. What had come over him so suddenly? Is it true the Alpha lived in the Great Valley? Rex's voice pulled Ruby from her thoughts.
Yes, for many season cycles, till the food there could no longer sustain him, could no longer satisfy his hunger.
He was starving? Rex shook his head in disbelief. Why did he stay so long? Ruby felt guilt wash over her.
For me, for his friends.
Yeah, well, I have lots of friends.
Chomper never had lots of Sharptooth friends.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, Redclaw warned us not to mess with the friendly Sharptooth boy. He said the boy was ill, would make us all go crazy.
The best way to bring herds and packs together is to give them an enemy to unite against. Chomper was an enemy to all he met, from leaf-eaters to Sharptooth. No matter what life threw at him, somehow he stayed positive and optimistic. It's one of the many reasons why I loved him.
Wow, you genuinely mean that?
Yeah.
I never met the right female, so I'm still single. The conversation went on, the pair crossing the Great Divide. Once on the other side of the landmass, Ruby took one last glance at the far side, hoping the best for those who lived there. Rex asked Ruby many questions about the life of a leaf-eater, only ever knowing them to be food. It was the first time Ruby had spoken with a Sharptooth who didn't try to kill her, like being around Screech and Thud. During the trip, Rex would make sure Ruby was hidden and leave for a brief time to hunt. During the time alone, Ruby's thoughts went back to her youth, napping in a small cave with rocks in the front to keep predators from entering. Sleeping away the time helped ease Ruby's worry, knowing she was helpless in such a state. Within her dream, Ruby was younger and back at the Great Valley. As she walked around, she saw the lush land, taking in the beautiful landscape. It was clear, so real and pure, as though she was teleported to another world and time. Then she heard it, a laugh, a familiar sound. Peering out from behind the rock she stood by, she saw a small blue-colored boy, being Chomper. "Chomper?" Ruby whispered. "Chomper!" Reaching out, she threw her arms around him and held him close, as though she would never let him go. Tears streamed down her face, Ruby unable to hold back her sobs of joy. All the while, Chomper stood still, moving around slightly. "Ruby, what's wrong?" He stood back to gaze up into her face. "What happened?" I'm just so happy to see you. To see you fills me with joy," Ruby exclaimed as she wiped her eyes. "I was only gone for a brief time. We were playing hide and seek. I was it, and you were hiding, remember?" "Chomper, there's something I must tell you before it's too late. It's about the future, about what will happen." "Oh, is it happy?" Chomper asked merrily. Ruby's smile fell. Not exactly." "Then it can wait till later." Chomper ran off. "Wait? For how long?" "Forever and ever." Ruby went after Chomper, feeling this was her chance to make things right, to change events that would follow once Chomper grew up. If he was made aware of such things, the future might play out differently.
Forever and ever is a very long time, Chomper.
Oh.
Forever isn't long at all. When I'm with you. I want to call your name forever, and you will always answer forever. And both of us will be forever, you and me, forever and ever. I want to stay like this forever. If only I could promise forever, then we could just be we, forever you and me, forever and ever, forever and ever is a very long time, Chomper. Forever isn't long at all, Ruby. When I'm with you, oh, I want to be with you forever. I want you right here beside me forever. One thing you should know, no matter where I go, we'll always be together forever and ever.
Chomper and Ruby laughed, Ruby unable to believe it was a dream. They held hands and ran through the lush landscape, catching the eyes of a few valley residents who looked up for a moment before returning to grazing. Spinning upon a flower-covered hill, they dropped and lay on their backs, gazing up at the bright sky, seeing sky puffies pass. It was perfect, and before Ruby knew it, she forgot what she wanted to tell Chomper, savoring every moment she had with him. When the rocks moved, Ruby woke and felt the dampness upon her face. Reaching up, she felt tears, crying during her nap.
Her heart ached as she sat up, sniffling slightly. Once the rocks were removed, she got herself together and greeted Rex. He returned with a bloody muzzle, doing his best to wipe it away.
Sorry.
He licked his lips. No worries. I've seen my share of blood before. He gave a small nod, the pair walking till evening. As he slept, Ruby found her gaze went to the sky, as though hoping for some answer. Clutching the egg, she let out a sigh. Unable to sleep, she rose and walked along. I've tried to find you, Chomper. I went all the places you weren't. If only I could find the places you've been. For wherever you are, I am not, and that's not how things should be. For wherever you are is where I should be too. Ruby saw her star, knowing somewhere out there he was gazing up upon the same starry sky. Perhaps if I were to wish very, very hard. Come out, moon, come out, wishing star, come out, wherever you are. I'm out here in the dark, all alone and wide awake. Come and find me. I'm empty and I'm cold, and my heart's about to break. Come and find me. I need you to come here and find me, 'cause without you I'm totally lost. I've hung a wish on every star. It hasn't done much good so far. I can only dream of you. Wherever you are, I'll hear you laugh. I'll see you smile. I'll be with you just for a while. But when the morning comes and the sun begins to rise, I will lose you, because it's just a dream. When I open up my eyes, I will lose you. I used to believe in forever, but forever's too good to be true. I've hung a wish on every star. It hasn't done much good so far. I don't know what else to do except to try to dream of you and wonder if you're dreaming too. Wherever you are. Wherever you are. Ruby curled up and held the egg close, wanting to get home to her loved ones, hoping Chomper might be there. All the while, Rex's head lifted, seeing Ruby and hearing her sad song. With a soft expression, he settled back down, wondering even more about the alpha and his mate.